If you're listening to this on June 20th, happy Freelancers Day. Welcome back to the Freelancers Tea Break, the short and sweet podcast you can enjoy whilst you're making a cuppa. And I'm actually recording this ahead of time, but if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, it is National Freelancers Day. And that's something to celebrate because we're pretty awesome, right? We want to celebrate that. And I was thinking about what to do for the podcast, and I really enjoyed a while ago doing the SpeakPipe episodes, which is where I set up SpeakPipe, which is a lovely tool online where people can leave voice messages that then you can include on a podcast. So I pitched the question to my community and I mentioned it on the podcast last week. What advice would you give to new freelancers? And I've got lots of responses. So I'm going to let basically them take the stage. And I hope you find something useful if you are a new freelancer. And I hope you're doing something lovely to celebrate being a freelancer, if that's for you, because being a freelancer is not always the easiest option, but the freelancers I know are incredibly inspiring and interesting and funny and kind. Bunch of good eggs. Really, really good. So I think you should be really proud of everything you do as a freelancer because you're not just doing one job, you're doing marketing, accounts, admin, finance, legal, everything, as well as your actual job and sales. And it's a lot. And the fact that you're doing all that, especially during a cost of living crisis and everything that's been going on recently, I think you should be extremely proud of yourself. So let's hand it over to the freelance community.
Hi Emma, thanks for the opportunity to answer this question. So it's Cheryl Thornton and I run my own consultancy and coaching business. And you can look me up on www.cherylthornton.co.uk. I also run retreats for women, so you can get on Instagram there, which is reconnection_retreats_. My answer would be two things actually. First one, I'm not just saying this because this is what I do, but I was really lucky to have a coach myself and I understood my why. So all my decisions were aligned, and that might be to know what clients I wanted to say yes or no to, but also the decisions I needed to take in terms of investment in my business and what I wanted my business to be like and attract the ideal client. Aligned with my why. So I found that out through coaching. So that was a key one for me. But also to know you don't have all the answers and you just need to start. And it is that older, probably, I know it gets said to death, but it is progress over perfection. I think we get really stuck because we think it has to be perfect and it doesn't. So that would be two pieces of advice. So thanks for the opportunity.
Hello, it's Trudy from Pawprints, Pilates and a Piece of Cake. That's me on all socials and my website. One piece of advice I would give to new freelancers is to plan your breaks. Make sure you have some downtime to look after yourself because you're your business. So it could be an hour to sit in a garden and read a book, an afternoon to go to a spa, maybe go to a Pilates class. Always vested interest there. But look after yourself and don't forget that work can be anywhere the Wi-Fi is if you're laptop based. So maybe have a longer break but just work from somebody else's house.
Hello, my name is Tereza Litsa and you can also find me on my website www.terezalitsa.co. My tip for new freelancers would be to have a chat with someone who has already done it before. If you want to have a better idea, the way I felt a year ago, I wanted to have a chat with different people just to understand how it works, any practical questions, and all the things that you might not have thought.
Hi, it's Kirsten from Wolf Approach Fitness. My top tip for freelancers is know your worth. Stand your ground and don't feel you have to justify your prices. You know the love, the sweat, the tears, the effort, the emotion that you put into your work, and it is worth every single penny. The person that appreciates that will pay that without ever questioning it. The people that start to haggle, you don't need them to be your clients.
Hi Emma, it's Nicola here from Melbourne, Australia, French to English translator. My advice for new freelancers would be to know what your hourly rate is, to know what your output is and figure that out with regard to your costs and how many hours you want to work.
Hi, it's Melissa here from Honeybee Copywriting, and my one piece of advice to a brand new freelancer, and to all freelancers to be honest, would be to block out some time once a quarter and update your portfolio. Even if you feel like you don't have many updates, you would be surprised at what you've been working on, the skills that you've developed, the successes you've had, the lessons that you've learned. So rather than wait until a new client comes along and asks to see what you've been up to or how you could help them, you'll already have your portfolio updated and ready to show off.
Happy National Freelancers Day. Hi, I'm Thuha. You can find me at digitalseamstress.co.uk. My one piece of advice is network, network, network. Tell everyone that you are starting to freelance and what you do and how you can help people. And it doesn't matter who you tell, they might know someone who knows someone, and you might not get something immediately, but you never know, 6, 9, 12 months down the line, they might remember you. So keep talking to people, networking. Don't be embarrassed about what you are doing, like I was.
Hi, this is Gayle Thompson from VILTS, Virtual Instructor-Led Training Solutions. My one piece of advice: find your tribe. Where do other people just like you hang out? They've already done the work and can advise and support you. Instead of competitors, think of them as collaborators who can refer you to clients, subcontract work to you, advise you on industry rates, and signpost you to places you need to be and people you need to talk to.
Hi Emma, thanks. This is a great idea. My name's Paula from Paula Sherlock Coaching, and you can find me on Instagram at Paula_Sherlock_coach. My piece of advice to a new freelancer would be find your community, find your tribe. It can be a lonely place, working for yourself. So finding your group of people that lift you up, that give you tips and advice when you've gone down a Google rabbit hole, that just give you that sense of community has been so important for me in the great times and the tough times as well. They celebrate you, they pick you up when you need it, and also it just is a great laugh to be part of that group with like-minded people.
Hi, I'm Lianne Marie of Butterflump, and my piece of advice is if you menstruate, get to know your cycle. There are 4 different phases, and in one particular phase, you're going to be really creative, really productive. In another phase, you're going to be great having meetings and being social and networking. And then in other phases, you're going to be dealing with needing to retreat, be quiet, process, think, plan. And then in the other phase, you're just going to need to rest, and things are going to feel overwhelming. And this is not a good time to be having a big meeting or to be under a tight deadline. So the best way I find to run my business is to organize my calendar around my cycle.
Hey everyone, it's Melissa, your go-to brand photographer specialising in curves. Follow me on socials at Curve Confidence for daily tips and inspiration. So, let's talk about something crucial that I wish I knew when I started off as a freelancer: how to build a strong portfolio. Let's talk about why it's important to start a portfolio from day one. Not only does it showcase your skills and your past work, it helps potential clients see what you do and how it sets you apart from the competition. Think of it as your professional highlight reel. It shows off what makes you awesome. So how do you get started, especially if you have no portfolio yet? Start small. Don't overthink it. If you're creative, like a graphic designer or photographer, use free sites like Behance to create mock projects or volunteer your skills to other people. If you're a virtual assistant, you can showcase your setups through Loom, recordings, screenshots of your own business, or you can offer power hours for testimonials. Writing case studies for each project, especially when you start out, explaining the problem, the process, and the outcome that you provide, helps potential clients really understand your approach. It helps build credibility and trust because nothing else says, "I'm awesome," like other people saying it for you. Remember, don't make this bigger than it is. Start small, keep it simple, and regularly update your portfolio with your latest work.
My name is Berenice Howard-Smith, and you can find me at hellolovely.design. My advice to you as a new freelancer is first to say congratulations and well done on taking this leap. There are several bits of advice I've got. One is that you don't have to be a full-time freelancer. If you need to do a bit of a side hustle thing, that's okay. And that's perfectly acceptable. There's no harm in that. In fact, it's a very sensible thing to do, as long as you keep an eye on your burnout and your energy levels. The other bit of advice I'll give to you is that you don't necessarily need a logo right now. And that might sound a bit of a contradiction given that that's what I do, along with other areas of design. And you may not need a website either. You probably do something just to start you off, but you don't need to have it all bells and whistles. Settle yourself down, keep the cash flow ticking over, and then come back when you've got the time and the energy and more perception of your market to be able to do that. And then you can create something beautiful that fits and has got more longevity to it, and you can keep it for longer, and you'll enjoy that process a lot more.
Hi, I'm B. Higgins. I'm a creative copywriter, content writer, and messaging mindset mentor. You can find me on LinkedIn by typing in my name, or you can find me on Instagram at bloomwithbcopy. If there's one thing I would say to new freelancers, it would be true to who you are. There are so many things that can turn your head when you're first getting started because you're learning as you go. You kind of assume everybody else knows better than you, or maybe you feel as if you have to sort of reconfigure how you present yourself to be a bit more palatable to a businessy audience. But I think there's so much to be said for leaning into your unique magic and not letting the things that set you apart scare you or convince you that you've got to dilute them in any way. Whether it's your process, what you believe about what you do, your values, your identity, whatever. Express all of your lovely, unique magic, show up how you want to show up, and you'll attract kindred spirits who sing from the same hymn sheet, and in turn, you'll end up creating an audience full of people keen to buy from you, who love what you do, and I think that's really invaluable, especially early on. So, there's my advice. Take it or leave it.
My best piece of advice would be to not panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. I'm dating myself there with a very aged reference. When I started freelancing, I had no plan, no savings, no clients, absolutely nothing. I built my website from scratch on the sofa and then went to a sector industry networking event and spoke to everyone I knew and said, "I'm starting this thing. Let me know if you know of any opportunities." And just hold the faith, have some trust, have trust and faith in the people that you know and the people that are cheering for you to succeed. People will make recommendations of you. They will send you opportunities for work. And once you get that first one under your belt, the opportunities will just continue to grow. And even if you've been in your freelancing journey for a little bit longer, I'm now 6 years in this week. Don't worry when things go a bit quiet. Don't worry if things feel like they're not quite going to plan. Don't worry if you don't have a plan, or in the words of friends, don't even have a pla. Hold the faith. Don't panic, Mr.
Hi Emma, it's Alicia Cornell of the Admin Den. I'm a virtual assistant, and my advice to new freelancers would be never stop asking questions. No matter how far in, you can always learn something new. So surround yourself by people that know and ask them all the questions you have. The other piece of advice would be don't be tempted to undercharge. especially at the beginning, it can be so tempting to lower your costs to try and get that first client to get going. But the people that are not willing to pay the industry standard price are not the people that would appreciate your work. So if you hold out, you will find someone that will value you for what you can do and pay the price that they should be paying.
Hi, I'm Sarah and my business is sarahwaite.com. What is one piece of advice I'd love to give a brand new freelancer? There's actually quite a lot, so trying to nail this down is really difficult. But if I had to give just one piece of advice, I think it would be to experiment and play, especially as you're sort of finding your way as a freelancer. You'll get told in the beginning by so many different people the way to do things, the right way to do things. And what I quickly learned is there is no right way to do things. There's only the way that works for you. So yeah, definitely, listen to what people have to say, take the advice on board, try the things that they recommend and suggest to you. But if it's not working for you, it's okay to let it go and move on and try something else. So that's why I say experiment and play and have fun with it. Try not to let it, make life difficult for you or upset you or, leave you feeling frustrated. If you keep that idea of experimentation and play in your mind as you try these things, it makes it a lot more fun, because ultimately that's partly one of the reasons we became freelancers, isn't it? To make it fun and interesting. So yes, that's my piece of advice.
Hey, Karina here. I've been freelancing for over a year now, and I was previously stuck at a 9 to 5 that was just draining, not fulfilling, and never paid my overtime, even though I worked like crazy. And advice that I would give out to new freelancers is don't give up when your first 10, 20, 30 proposals hasn't been responded to. It took me 3 years to break that pattern because I just really didn't understand how I was supposed to be sending out these proposals. I thought it was just like giving your CVs, but it's really not. So take the time to learn what makes a successful proposals. Look at other people's successful proposals and take on the bits of parts where it's really good and just adapt it to yours. Take your time into crafting these proposals because it's really important. I used to take an hour for one proposal. I'm now faster, but it's just make sure to take your time into that, and it will pay off. Don't give up. It will pay off. It's the best life decision that I've ever made, and I'm just thrilled to be living this life.
Hi, this is Emma from the Mini Mease and Me. I think it's really important to know your worth and don't undervalue your work just because you're new. Having a strong presence online is really important for success. You'll want to create a website with examples of your work and register with social media networks so you can be found and connect with your target audience easily. Because if you can't be found, you won't get the work. I think it's important to define clear working hours and set boundaries with clients right from the start. Also, don't overcommit as you need to have time off. It is okay to say no and turn opportunities down.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Freelancers Tea Break. I hope you found it useful. If you want to connect with other freelancers, do come join us in the Facebook group, The Freelance Lifestylers. It's completely free and really lovely and supportive. You can also find out more information on freelancing at freelancelifestyle.co.uk. And as always, I'd really appreciate it if you were able to take a moment to leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice.